Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Hey everybody, it's Jeff. Glad everybody's here today. Hope you're having a good Tuesday. So, today, a lot of talk here about the shooting of Renee Good, and there was a poll that came out today, I think, and it's interesting to see how this poll is, what it's saying here to us. Okay. It says that men are divided about the details of the shooting, more so than women. 42% of men think the shooting was justified, while 44% said the shooting was not justified. Amongst women, the opinions were more uniform. More than half, 61%, of women in the poll think the shooting was not justified, and 30% of women think the shooting was justified. Republican respondents were also more likely to call the shooting justified than their Democrat and independent counterparts. More than three-quarters of Republicans, 77%, said they thought the shooting was justified. Among the Democrats, only 4% felt the same, and 92% said they thought the shooting was not justified. Independents largely agreed with Democrats, 59% calling it unjustified, and 28% called it justified. And this was, let me see where this poll was from here. Okay, it was done by Quinnipiac University. Just a few days after the incident took place. And it was headed by Tim Malloy. Which, it really kind of, it's weird. I mean, because our society is so politicized now. It's not a surprise that more Republicans think that the shooting was justified than the Democrats. I mean, it's like, of course they're going to say that, right? This was the reason Republicans voted for Trump in the first place, is they wanted this shit to happen, violence on the streets, okay, rounding up immigrants, killing innocent people. This is what they voted for, okay? So, yeah, it's no surprise that, so many of them would agree with what happened here, okay? But I think there's also another element. There's this video that's been going around trying to convince people that this is how it happened. This is, a new video that apparently they're trying to pass off as the incident that happened. And got a video here from Raw News that breaks down this video to show that it's nothing but trickery. And so let's go to that video here, and then we'll discuss it on the other side.
And welcome to the show. I have some video clips to share with you today and an image that I want to show you related to some recent news events, major news events. And it just goes to show how easy it is to dupe MAGA. They are some of the most, not all of them, but many of them are the most gullible people on the planet. They refuse to do even a minute of research if something aligns with their beliefs. And I'm sure people on the left do this too, but not to this degree. right? Like they are just looking for confirmation of their existing bias. So first, I want to show you this video. This has been shared by so many people in the MAGA movement. MAGA influencers are sharing this. It has fooled so many of them. This is about the murder of Renee Good, the woman, the mother of 3 that was just killed last week by an ICE Gestapo agent. And this is what they're circulating and telling people is a video that conclusively proves that she hit the officer with her car. I'm going to play it for you at full speed first, and then I'm going to show you a slowed down version so you can see it more clearly. But you're going to laugh because it isn't even the same incident. So check this out. Watch this again. Okay, so that, like I said, has been widely circulated online. They are like, oh, look, the left refuses to accept that this is proof that she hit him, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm going to slow it down. Like I said, there is no sound, just in case you guys are wondering. There is no sound on this, but check out the slowed down version. I'm going to play it again for you. And what I want you to look at is the surroundings, okay? Okay. First of all, let's look at this, okay? There are cars on both sides of the road. The car is also, as you see here, and I'll add it again, driving straight down the road, right? Straight ahead. You can see the lines on the road. This car is driving with the lines. It is running parallel to the lines on the road. That is not the same incident, okay? First of all, it's not the same car. This looks like a black car. Her car was maroon. And you might say, well, you know, the colors could be off. It might look a little bit different. Okay, like I said, this car is driving straight down the road. And there are cars on both sides of the road. Okay. Her car, Renee Good, was perpendicular to the lines on the road, almost completely perpendicular, almost at a 90-degree angle to the lines on the road. That was their whole argument was, oh, well, she's blocking the road. She's blocking their path. Yeah, because her car was sideways. That car in that video that I just showed you was not. Also, that officer, take a look at his hands. The officer in this video that they're claiming is Nicole Good, this officer has nothing in his hands. Look at how he leans forward. He's not recording. He's not pulling out his gun, right? The officer, and again, I use that term loosely, Jonathan Ross, who shot her, had a phone in one hand and a gun in the other. He first had the phone, then he switched the phone to the other hand to take out his gun. Okay, this person, this officer, again, you can see this person is directly in front of the car, leaning forward, and does not have anything in their hands. Okay? So, not the same incident. And here's the thing, too. If you notice, the video cuts off where you would normally see him shooting her, right? Because we all know as the car is going past him, he is on the driver's side of the vehicle and fires directly into her driver's side window and shoots her what looks like directly in the head. The final 2 shots were directly into her vehicle. So these fools do not even realize or know that Jonathan Ross had a gun in one hand and a cell phone in the other, and that he was on the side of her car as she drove past when he shot her the final 2 times. And I'll play this again for you so you can see this officer is not shooting into the window of this vehicle. Okay, that officer looks like he got thrown or something. So I don't know what this incident was, but this is not the Renee Good incident. Okay, it just shows you that they are low information voters, that they just buy anything, like I said, as long as it aligns with their preconceived ideas and beliefs and, political persuasion. And this next image I'm going to show you ties into this. So this is an actual photo, still frames, still shots of frame by frame of what happened that day. So I want you to take a look at shot 1. Okay, these were images that were put together. I don't know who put them together, but this was shared on CNN. Okay, look at the first image where it says shot 1 up in the right-hand corner. I have circled the officer's feet with red, and then the tire is circled in blue. You can clearly see his feet and part of his legs. If he was in front of her vehicle, you wouldn't be able to see that. You would not be able, you maybe might be able to see a foot or a partial foot. You would not be able to see the 2 feet and the 2 legs that you see in this image. That is Jonathan Ross. So the guy was not in front of her vehicle. Okay? And then you can clearly see there's another officer standing off to his right. That was not in the other video that they're circulating and claiming is Nicole Good. And as you see in shot 2 and shot 3, he is on the side of the vehicle. He is leaning forward with his upper body and shooting into her driver's side window. That is why there is only 1 gunshot in the car. The only bullet hole that you actually see going into the vehicle is in the lower corner of her driver's side window. Okay, that would be shot number 1. You don't have 3 shots through the front windshield because he wasn't in front of the car. And even the one that he shot through the front windshield, again, it is down low on the very, very far corner of her driver's side. So none of this lines up with the story that they are telling. And again, as you can see, her car, look at where the lines on the road are compared to her car. It is not completely sideways. It is not 100% 90-degree angle to the lines on the road, but it is not going straight. It's not going straight down the road. Okay? I mean, the fact that they haven't caught on to this, and do you see on the other side of these officers in these photos, there's no cars there. There are no cars on that side of the road, at least where they're standing. Okay? In the video, and I'll show you guys again so you can see, in the video you will see there are cars lining that side of the road. Do you see all of those vehicles? So the fact that these people are so clueless and don't understand, I don't know if this is, from another incident. I don't know if this is AI. I don't really know what's going on, but it's not the same incident. So, like I said, the image and that video do not match up. I'll show you the image again. I don't even know how these people are so easily fooled. I just don't get it. Like I said, I do get it. It's like I mentioned several times. It is because they want to believe it. This lines up, with what they want to believe, what they want to, embrace as truth and fact. And so they run with it. That's all that matters. Anyway, and again, you look at this and realize if she had run him over, he would have been down, right? He wouldn't have been able to continue filming if she had hit him. Anyway, and then the two shots, those are shot number 2 and shot number 3 are what are in serious dispute. So there have been defense attorneys who have come out since this whole thing went down, and they have told reporters they advise him to take a plea deal. Now, that would indicate that there's a legitimate investigation and that there's, legitimate people in the FBI or wherever doing an investigation and dealing with this, which we know is not the case. We know that Donald Trump and his henchmen and his minions of his regime, they are doing everything possible to cover this up and to keep all of the evidence away from local investigators. There's a saying that he who has nothing to hide hides nothing. So the fact that they're trying to hide all of the evidence, the fact that they refuse to turn over body cam footage, that they refuse to allow local investigators to be a part of this, that tells you everything you need to know. It tells you that they know this guy is guilty as sin and they don't want him to face any consequences. So they're going to cover for him. But yeah, attorneys who have worked with police officers, these aren't just random defense attorneys. These are attorneys who have worked on these specific types of cases. And they have said to reporters, this is open and shut. I could maybe get him off for shot number 1. I could make the case. I could, make a jury believe that he was at risk and that he made a snap decision and blah, 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 and whatever. But shot number 2 and shot number 3, point blank at her head after the car had already gotten past him, they're like, no, that there's no way I can make that fly with a jury. So that was reported. A reporter posted that on Twitter and said, this is what I'm hearing from multiple defense attorneys who have dealt with these cases. Anyway, this last one I have to share with you guys, this isn't about Renee Good, but it's another perfect example of how easily MAGA is duped. So as you guys all know, all through last year, we heard from Donald Trump, we heard from Elon Musk, Doge tariff rebate, right? We're going to give you a Doge rebate. All the savings that we amassed from cutting all this government waste, fraud, and abuse, we're going to send you a check. And then it turned into, no, it's the tariff rebate. We're going to give you a Trump tariff rebate and send you $2,000 from all the money we're bringing in from the tariffs. 2025 comes and goes, no check, right? So a reporter asked Trump today about this $2,000 check. They're like, hey, when are you sending this out? Donald Trump didn't even remember saying that he was going to send this to people. So check this out. It is too funny.
Promised $2,000 checks to Americans based off of your tariff revenues. When can
I did do that.
When did I do that?
Well, I mean, you're
Yeah, I'm thinking, well, I did 1776 for the military,
When
right?
will those Americans get those checks?
Well, I am going to. The tariff money is so substantial that's coming in that I'll be able to do 2,000 sometime, I would say toward the end of the year.
The check is good. The check is in the mail. 2 weeks. When's the house going to be done? 2 weeks. Oh my God. I said that? When did I say that? Oh, I don't know, like a million times last year. Like, this guy. Oh my God. And they're still buying it. And I see this all the time, you guys. I am constantly on Reddit and Twitter and all kinds of places and Truth Social looking at the post of people, trying to talk to him, trying to send him a message. His supporters railing against him, saying, "Where's my tariff check? I've been waiting on that $2,000 check." And I'm like, yeah, don't hold your breath on that. I don't say that to them, but oh my God, the guy is losing it. He is losing it. Cannot even remember a promise that he has made to his supporters countless number of times. I couldn't add up how many times he has said this so far and strung them along and strung them along. And now it's, oh, well, towards the end of 2026, you mean like right before or right after the midterm election? Like you're going to try to buy their votes is what you're saying? Or you're just trying to string them along to say, well, see, you have to vote for Republicans because if you vote for the Democrats, then you're never going to get that check. But they still believe it. So, these must be the people who still believe in Santa. All right, guys. So yeah, had to get some laughs in there at the end, but what is going on in our country? This is just not good. Not good. All right. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Please definitely share this because there might be people in your life who believe that fake video, who see that on social media or somebody sends it to them, and they're going to think that that is a real video. If they haven't seen the other videos and they haven't watched it closely and looked at the surrounding and the lines on the road and all that stuff. So make sure you share it, please. You can even share it by email. If you just click on the share button below this video on YouTube, there's the little icon. I think it looks like a little envelope to share it by email. But yeah, share it everywhere. All right. And if you can donate, truly appreciate it. It really helps to keep the show going. So thank you all so much again. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.
Yeah, and on that last part there, another sign that perhaps Trump's memory is mental faculties are depleted, that he can't remember something that he said multiple times last year. Okay, people, should we keep finding more evidence to show that his mind has fallen apart? Okay, more reason that he should be removed from office. A lot of fury over what happened. And let me before I jump into that, I want to say, I had a person comment on my video, the last one I think it was, saying that, well, if you're in a dangerous situation and the shooting was justified and you should listen to what the guy saying, blah blah blah. Okay, same old fucking shit that's been coming out of everybody's mouth in the Republican side. The thing of it is if you watch that video, the situation was not dangerous. Okay, it was pretty mild in comparison to some of these other incidents that ICE has been faced with crowds and crowds of people. This was just, a few people, shouting and stuff like that. No one was going after these people, you know, to beat on them or anything. Nobody had guns except for the ICE agents. So where was the danger? There wasn't any danger. It wasn't a dangerous situation. All this guy had to do, instead of shooting her, was just let her go. Just fucking let her go. Okay? You weren't there to just go after people that you weren't there to go get, right? Because she was obviously an American citizen. No, he shot her because she wouldn't, you know, step on the brake when he told her to stop, and she just kept going, but she didn't speed off. Okay? And instead of just blowing it off and saying, oh, screw that, okay, that's not why I'm here. You know, no, he got pissed. He took it personal. He got pissed. All right? And he decided, I'm going to kill somebody. Just like in that movie Unhinged, okay, with Russell Crowe. Okay, same fucking thing. And I think that, you know, in this situation, you can't defend it. It's indefensible. I don't care who you think did wrong here. It certainly wasn't Renee Good. Okay? Just because she was behind the wheel of a vehicle doesn't mean she was trying to use it as a weapon, okay? This guy, this fucking cop here, and I can't remember his fucking name. It ain't even worth remembering anyway. He's a scumbag, okay? This fucking guy fires 3 shots. The first shot, you know, he was off to the side, and he aimed it through the bottom corner of the windshield, okay? The next 2 shots went in through the driver's side window. Now, if that car was heading for him head on, she'd have hit him. She would have hit this guy. No, that didn't happen. She was weaving around him, and after he shot her, the car just went and plowed into a bunch of parked cars further down the way. Okay? There was no danger until this motherfucker was on the scene. Okay? Until he pulled out the gun. Then it was a dangerous situation, but not to the ICE guy, but to the driver, because she pissed him off and he felt justified to shoot her dead. Okay? Now, like the video had mentioned, the lawyers can't defend this guy because the evidence is so clear. He overreacted. Okay? If it had just been that one shot in the front windshield, maybe they'd have had a chance to call it, a defensible reaction, but he fired twice on the driver's side window while the vehicle was in motion, and he killed her. He wasn't in any danger. There was no need to shoot her. You know, usually when a cop has to take out a gun, it's because he's been fired at. You see what I'm saying? They won't take out the gun unless they know that that person's carrying a gun or they've been fired on. Then they take out the gun. Then they go to the gun. Renee had nothing, okay? She had no gun. She didn't shoot at these guys, and she certainly wasn't trying to run over this fucking clown, okay? So, like I said, you know, they're trying every angle here to justify what happened. They're trying to make people sympathetic toward this agent because, oh, he's a veteran, okay? And then they're trying to say, well, she rammed him. And then they try to make this AI video, okay, from something that happened that was a whole different incident, okay? It just doesn't match what the original video, the one that we saw first, was put on the internet. Remember, I told you, the longer this goes on, the more questionable we have to ask these other angles here. Are these justified? Or this AI imagery here? Okay, because usually it's the very first videos you see, those are the true videos, and what comes days, even weeks later, is all manufactured crap. Okay, so we have to disregard all this other new stuff that's coming out that are supposedly people recorded this and that. Okay, we have to disregard that because obviously it's the panic from the right wing who were desperately trying to exonerate this guy. But the lawyers, on the other hand, don't see a way to exonerate him, okay, except make a plea deal or some damn thing, okay? Because they're saying, well, we've tried cases like this before, and we often lose because the jury won't buy the argument that this was self-defense. And when they see that video, and they will, that's going to be it. You know, and right now, everybody's making up their mind about this. You see what I'm saying? So if this does go to court and there is a jury, who is going to be a juror that hasn't seen this yet or made an opinion about it? Okay? Everybody now in this country has made an opinion about that video that they saw. Okay? And now you see you got the Republicans are on one side of this, the Democrats on the other. Okay? It's split right down party lines, which is shameful, because morality does not depend on what side of the political aisle you are. Morality is its own thing, right and wrong. Okay? There should be a genuine sharing here of morality when it comes to a homicide. Okay? And you can't just justify that any more than you could justify what happened out in California with that guy getting beat to death by a bunch of cops. Okay, none of those cops were in danger for anything, but they sit there and they beat Rodney King to death. Okay, that's another example, and why you're never going to get a jury to say, okay, what's acquit, with that. Okay, even though they got off lightly. But what I'm saying is that everybody that saw the video then knew that those fucking guys were wrong. And this is the same situation where you got a guy in a supposed uniform, okay, with, like this, walking around like this, okay, scared shitless that someone will ID him, okay, which they did because they got his name now. So having this moron here who clearly isn't qualified to be carrying a gun, because if he's a veteran and he's been through war and stuff like that, who knows what he's suffering with. Hey, I'm not shitting on veterans. I mean, I've seen all kinds of veterans because I'm a veteran, okay? And a great many of them are suffering with some deep-seated or, incidents that happened to them that were traumatic, okay? So it's easy to believe that a veteran would have flipped out, in a situation where they told somebody to do something and they didn't do it, okay? This kind of shit happens in families where the father, who was a veteran, trying to raise their kids is, over disciplined, over disciplinary on these kids, okay? When they don't mind what they're told, they beat the hell out of them or something like that. That's been known to happen there too. Same thing with wives of veterans, okay? They're abused, because these guys have no fucking control. They're unhinged, like in that movie I was telling you about. All right? This fella here is the same. All right? And the right wing is hoping that we'll just excuse it because, oh, he's a veteran. No, that's not enough. Okay? We never excused any veteran that's ever committed a crime. Okay? When they commit crimes, they got to answer for it just like everybody else. All right? It's up to their attorneys to try to draw sympathy, from the jury or something like that. But usually that never works, okay? Because the crimes sometimes are so heinous and cold-blooded that there's no way, no fucking way. So, yeah, so they're out there, like I said, throwing out fake videos, throwing out sympathy, trying to paint this guy in a different way than what you saw in the video. They want you just not to look at that video. They want you to forget that you saw it, okay? That's the only way they can get this swept under the rug. But when you start doing that, when you start, minimizing things like that, it gets so much easier when more of these things happen. Just like the school shootings. We've programmed ourselves not to think too much about these school shootings after they've happened, and so they continue to happen. And that's what they're going to do here. They're going to let these ICE agents, do what they're doing. And, more of this shit's going to happen because nobody wants to hold them over the fire when they screw up. All right? So somebody has to. Somebody's going to have to, show them that, look, you cross a line, you're going to have to pay for it. There's nothing in your mandate that justifies killing people on sight. Okay? Like I said, Renee Good was not an illegal immigrant. She was a fucking citizen. Okay? She was trying to get around this fucking guy. He was harassing her. And when she wouldn't obey every fucking thing he was saying, he shoots her. Okay? So, like I said, this is this is what you get. And people, you know, those of you out there that think this was justified, don't waste your breath commenting to me about it. I'm not going to believe you no matter what you say. I don't care what you might have saw or what you think you saw. Okay, I don't care, you know, where your legalese might come from, okay, to try and say it was justified. No. There's no excuse on this whole world that can make the case that that was a justified shooting, okay? I don't care what you say. So don't even try it with me. I'm not going to listen to it. Let's go to a commercial break.
I'm Alex Curtis. I'm a lobsterman in Maine, and this is me.
I'm Roxy Sugar, and this is me.
I'm Eric Hopkins. I'm an artist, and this is me.
This is me.
Me.
This is me.
This is me.
At the end of the journey, the main thing is you, original.
As some of you may or may not know, nearly 15,000 nurses in New York City went on strike yesterday. Included in their list of demands, higher wages, protections from understaffing, and tighter security due to recent attacks at hospitals. The work stoppage impacts staff at New York Presbyterian, Montefiore Medical Center, and the Mount Sinai Health System, some of the largest providers in the city. All I know is you better be giving these nurses whatever they're asking for. I don't want to hear we can't. I don't want to hear it's too much money. I don't want to hear nothing. You better give these nurses what they're asking for. Back in 2020, during the peak of the pandemic, 9 months pregnant me waddled into Montefiore Hospital in the Bronx, formerly known as Einstein Hospital. It was one of the scariest moments in my life. It was my first time having a baby, so there's the fear and anxiety in that. Pile on a pandemic, pile on that no one was allowed to be there with me. It was one of the scariest times of my life. I somehow managed to finagle to get my husband in there, to witness the birth of our child. And even in those moments, the labor and delivery nurses were some of the most incredible people I have ever encountered, ever. I was eventually sent home, and after a couple of days, I had to go back to the hospital because I was suffering from preeclampsia. My blood pressure was through the roof, and I was this close to having a stroke. But because of the pandemic, this time going back in, I had to be completely by myself. I couldn't have anyone there with me, and I was devastated. Not only was I terrified because I didn't know what was happening to me, but I had to be separated from my newborn because she was staying at home. When I tell you, I cried, I sobbed, my anxiety was through the roof. And it was those nurses that kept me going. They sat with me, they stayed with me, they talked with me, they reassured me that everything was going to be okay. They were in my room every 10 to 15 minutes checking up on me. Don't get me wrong, doctors are important, but I saw those doctors every 8 to 12 hours. It was the nurses that were there for me my entire stay. They are the heart of our healthcare system. And quite frankly, the things that they're asking for are not like crazy. So I'm making this video in support of the nurses here in New York City that are on strike right now. I'm so happy Mayor Mamdani is behind you guys, that he's fighting for you guys and advocating for you all. And I just want to say that you have my unwavering support, and you deserve all the things. Best of luck to you. Keep fighting, hold the line, and just know that New Yorkers have your back.
Nome is a bird-legged hoe. I said Christy Nome is a bird-legged hoe. Oh, Christy Nome is a bird-legged hoe. That hoe has got to go. Christy Nome is a bird-legged hoe. Come on. Christy Nome is a bird-legged hoe. Hey. Christy Nome is a bird-legged hoe. That hoe has got to go. Christy Nome. Kosh Patel is a bug-eyed twit. Kosh Patel is a bug-eyed twit. Kosh Patel is a bug-eyed twit. That twit has got to split. Pam Bondi is a lizard-legged twat. Pam Bondi is a lizard-legged twat. Pam Bondi is a lizard-legged twat. That twat's gotta be stopped. Christy Gnome is a bird-legged hoe. Ho! Christy Gnome is a bird-legged hoe. Ho! Christy Gnome is a bird-legged hoe. Ho! That hoe has got to go.
Gracias por watching. Christy Nome is a bird-legged hoe. No olviden suscribans. Campanita. Todo eso. And be sure to tune back in this Wednesday, Enero 14, to the Scared Ketchup YouTube channel for the world premiere of my new show, Presidente Trumpitos Muy Gigante Clusterfuck. You'll be very glad.
Some people have a deep, abiding respect for the natural beauty that was once this country. And some people don't. People start pollution. People can stop it. Write for Pollution Booklet, Box 1771, Radio City Station, New York.
Be a part of the entertainment value of a lifetime.
I loved it. It was the best performance I've seen in a lifetime.
I loved the show. I liked it very much. He's a very entertaining man. It's well worth the money.
Now appearing in Charlottetown, coming to Halifax November 6th to the 18th, and St. John November 20th through the 26th.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. All right, so I had sort of come to the end in the last section here, before the break here, of what can be done here to rein in ICE. And apparently we got a sheriff in Philadelphia who's basically saying, you come into this fucking town and you start that shit in, you will go under arrest. I mean, you will be charged with crimes, state crimes, crimes you can't get pardoned for by the president. Okay? And so let's go to this video here, and then we'll discuss that on the other side.
And that is Philadelphia Sheriff Rochelle Bilal threatening to bring smoke to Trump administration ICE agents. Hello everybody, David Schuster here. State and local law enforcement authorities across the United States are condemning the Minnesota ICE shooting and killing of 37-year-old Renee Good. One of the harshest critiques, though, has now come from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Watch.
I'm Rochelle Bilal, the sheriff for the city and county of Philadelphia. And I say her name, Renee Good.
Renee Good.
Renee Good.
Renee Good.
Renee Good.
Renee Good.
This should not have happened, but we're here today. Let know that law enforcement professionals, real ones, not the fake made up ICE, probably Trump's new army to attack citizens of the United States. Did you hear what I said? No law enforcement professional wears a mask. None. None. Those that come into our communities wearing a mask to commit crime, thank God for our district attorney, Larry Krasner, who say he's going to lock them up.
And Krasner said it at the same news conference.
If any law enforcement agent, any ICE agent, is going to come to Philly to commit crimes, then you can get the F out of here. Because if you do that here, I will charge you with those crimes. You will be arrested. You will stand trial. You will be convicted, whether it's in state or federal court. It's my office prosecuting it. That's how the law works. And you will do your time because Donald Trump cannot pardon you for a state court conviction. Do you hear me, ICE agents? Do you hear me, National Guard? Do you hear me, military?
Now, back to Philadelphia Sheriff Rochelle Bilal. She followed Krasner's remarks by noting that ICE agents who allegedly break the law, including Jonathan Ross in Minnesota, often get to ride away from the scene and hide. In Philadelphia, Sheriff Bilal said lawless ICE agents will be arrested on the spot.
When you do it there, you're getting arrested there. No whisk away for them to hide you. None of that here. None of that here.
Bilal also hammered the ICE tactics. In Minnesota, Agent Jonathan Ross stepped in front of Renee Good's vehicle as she was turning away.
Law enforcement professionals do not shoot at moving vehicles. I'm not saying fleeing because she wasn't fleeing. She was getting out of the way. Law enforcement professionals do not stand in front of moving vehicles invoking an action that is illegal. No, we don't. And so we stand here today with all those who stand against the made-up, fake, what you can call ICE, professional law enforcement. I don't call them none of that. I call them made-up, fake, wannabe law enforcement. Because what they do is against not only legal law, but the moral law. So I'm with the DA, and we will work with them. If any of them want to come in this city and commit a crime, you will not be able to hide. Nobody will wish you off. You don't want this smoke, because we will bring it to you.
For the record, because this will almost certainly be misquoted or misconstrued in conservative media, Bilal said, "Bring the smoke." That is slang in African-American culture for confronting or challenging somebody. It is different from smoking somebody, which means to kill someone with a gun. Again, MAGA media is already getting this wrong. The sheriff said her officers will bring the smoke to ICE agents, not smoke them. Sheriff Bilal finished her remarks by calling Donald Trump a criminal and said ICE agents who break the law will discover that Donald Trump's pardon powers apply only to federal laws. Sheriff Bilal said the city of Philadelphia is ready to charge and arrest agents under state and local criminal laws.
The criminal in the White House would not be able to keep you from going to jail. Renee Good should be here today. And to her family, we are saying law enforcement professionals are not the ones here in this city that would do that. But here's the last thing that I will say. Law enforcement professionals around the country do their job, and we have been fighting for years to build that bridge between us and our communities. You have one negative nutcase that causes this problem, and now we all have to fight again to let people know law enforcement works with communities. These crimes would not be down if we didn't have communities work with us. Thank you.
On that last point, for a few years now, violent crime has been going down in Philadelphia and most major cities in the United States. Experts credit, in part, a modern, less confrontational style of policing that involves trust and respect between police and the communities they serve and protect. The shoot first, ask questions later approach and the trampling of constitutional rights, including due process, those controversial and often illegal behaviors in countless police departments are being weeded out. Yes, there are still some law enforcement officers in several states and cities who don't seem to care about the Constitution they've sworn to uphold and defend, but by most accounts, over the past few years, local and state police have made dramatic improvements. And that's why the aggressive and often illegal tactics now of the Trump administration's ICE agents stand out. The ICE behaviors, even covering their faces with masks, are infuriating local law enforcement leaders, including the sheriff of Philadelphia. And so, ICE and Trump have now been put on notice. It may be possible for ICE to keep surging the raids and arrests in a large and mostly polite community like Minneapolis, but the city of Philadelphia is figuratively pulling out their brass knuckles, daring ICE to come to the birthplace of America. Philadelphia is not messing around. And that defiance, that emphatic message to Trump and ICE has been delivered. By the way, a growing number of congressional Democrats are now threatening to withhold federal funding for DHS and ICE.
Killing of Renee Nicole Good was an abomination, a disgrace.
Democrats cannot vote for a DHS budget that doesn't restrain the growing lawlessness of this agency. Senator Chris Murphy, Democrat from Connecticut. I cannot and will not support any funding for Trump's ICE operations. Senator Chris Van Hollen, Democrat from Maryland. We can't just keep authorizing money for these illegal killers. Rep. Pamela Jayapal, Democrat from Washington. Statements and letters are not enough in the appropriations process, and the CR, continuing resolution, expiring January 31st is our opportunity. Rep. Delia Ramirez, Democrat from Illinois. We should be opposing the hundreds of billions of dollars going to a lawless agency. Rep. Ro Khanna, Democrat from California. Check out that video at the link below. It generated a lot of comments on YouTube. One of the most popular is from Gina, who wrote, "Agree, shut them down. They are paid by us, the U.S. citizens who they are killing." I hear you. I look forward to reading your comments about law enforcement leaders in Philadelphia threatening to arrest ICE agents. I'm David Schuster. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, it's good, and I hope other areas of this country will take similar stands, because, if we can't depend on our police to dial things down here with ICE, then it's going to be up to the public to take, whatever action they see fit to take, violent or otherwise. Okay, and unless these cities want to see that happen, they're going to have to stand up against these fucking guys. Okay, that's all there is to it, really. They're giving people no choice. Okay, I mean, you go into these cities and you start shooting people who are just innocent bystanders for the most part, by comparison. They're not there as illegal immigrants. They're not there to try and, impede anything, okay? They're protesting. And you can't just pull out a gun and shoot these people on sight because they don't like you, okay? There's nothing in the law that says you have to be liked by the people that are around you, okay? You're just to do a job, and your job says you're supposed to be getting illegal immigrants, okay? Renee Good wasn't an illegal immigrant, and she died for it, okay? Unjustified. That's way beyond their fucking mandate, okay? There's no excuse for that. Nobody was in any danger until that guy pulled out his gun and shot her. Then people were in danger, because now the guy's lost his fucking cool. Who else is going to get shot? Okay? So, yeah. I'm glad this, at least someplace in America, they're standing up to Trump. Now, he may not like that. ICE may not like that. But look where this has brought them. Okay? It was this cold-blooded nature of how they're doing this job that brought them to this point. All right? And I think that, when it comes to law and order, okay, you want to get rid of the disorder in order to have law. Okay? And as long as the ICE people are out there making disorder in this country and riling up the fucking citizens, you're not doing your job, you know, of keeping places safe. Okay? There's no safe in any of this shit. Okay? You've got more people on the streets with guns, and these people are not afraid to use them. Okay? In fact, they're encouraged to use them by all, appearances here, because the way that guy shot Renee, he didn't look like he bat an eyelash. He calmly pulled that motherfucker out and, started firing in there, and he walked away while he was on his fucking cell phone like it was just another day at work, Okay? As cold-blooded as you can get. As cold-blooded as you can get. Trump and Noam and all these idiots here coming out of the woodwork trying to defend this, the indefensible, okay, just shows how weak they are. All right, they're scared because it looks bad. It is bad. It doesn't just look bad, it is bad. Okay, and they're scared because they know that this guy fucked up, but they're not going to admit that on camera. They're not going to say that this guy fucked up. Okay, even though everybody else in the fucking free world, including in other countries, saw that as a blatant murder, cold-blooded murder. That's what that was. So you got just 5 people that are trying to say it wasn't, and 10 million people saying it was. So who are you gonna believe, right? So I feel like, the police are gonna have to be on these fuckers' ass when they're in town. Get cops escorting them everywhere, okay? Have them watch these motherfuckers. When they start to get out of line, arrest them, okay? Arrest them. All right, and that's what you got to do. And the civilians, you should be around that too. If you know or you have an idea of where the agents might be next, let people know. Show up there. Be witnesses to these things and these events, because they're going to screw up. Okay, they're going to do something that was outside the bounds of their mandate, and record. ICE may not like it, but hey, they brought this on themselves. We don't trust them now. And they haven't earned our trust, and they probably never will now. In fact, if we manage to survive this regime, people, if we manage to survive this and we get a new president, the first thing that new president needs to do is to destroy that fucking agency, period. Okay? They were given too much authority over this country, over the citizens, okay? They were just nothing more than thugs. And we don't want that. It looks bad now, okay? We never needed them before, and I don't know why people think that this is a positive thing. I mean, if they're supposed to be Border Patrol people and stuff, they're not at the border, they're in everyone's backyards, okay? This is ridiculous, okay? It's just an excuse. They say, oh, these people are protecting our borders. Yeah, right. These people are out there doing your bidding. You want chaos on the streets, and brother, you're going to get it. People are only going to put up with this shit so much, okay? And you can see now, the police are starting to make a stand here, okay? And when the people see that, then these people are going to step up even more too, on the resistance. So keep in mind that, this situation is reaching a very critical mass here. And it won't take much to push the country right into a fucking, revolution here against our own government. And I think, like I've said many times before, revolution is not a bad thing. Yeah, I mean, it costs lives and all that, but sometimes it's needed in order to get rid of the bad dirt, the bad blood that's in our government. And we got a lot of it. We need to do something about that. I mean, we can't wait for elections to come around when they do, in order to get people out. Sometimes these people have to be forced out, okay, to make way for newer people here, better-minded people, okay? Because like I said, you keep a politician in government too long, and it's like a baby wearing a diaper for fucking months at a time, okay? They got to be taken out. All right, these people have got to be taken out of office because, you know, they're dirty, they're corrupt. So that's what I say. You know, change your leaders often and keep an eye on them. Because apparently it's very easy for a guy who might be considered an honest politician to get corrupted if he stays too long in that fucking town. All right? But it's very easy to have someone who's already corrupt in that fucking town doing the job that Trump's doing and turning the country inside out. All right? And we have this problem now where all the elements of what makes a government not function all working together with the man who does not want government functioning, period. He just wants his way, and that's it. His word, you know, the king. He wants to be the king of America, okay? We're not supposed to have kings or queens in this fucking country, okay? That's what we left England for, all right? People wanted to have a voice in their government. That's what we created way back when. And Trump's trying to undo that. He doesn't think people should have a right to say a fucking thing. If he tells people that I'm going to go send men out there to kill you, people should just accept it. Yeah. So, again, like I said, I'm glad that at least somebody is standing up here and trying to draw a line in the sand and say, if you cross it, you're going to have to pay the price. You kill somebody in this state the way you killed Renee Good, or in this city rather, Philadelphia. If you kill somebody in this town, well, you will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. And Trump can't pardon you, okay? He can't pardon you. Because if it's a state crime, you got to answer for it in the state, you know? And, you know, I think that's a good message to send. And I hope they stand behind it. You know, I really do, because people are really looking for some sanity here to, you know, bring this to a close. And so far, our politicians haven't really been there for the most part, and that's sad. Because it makes you think about, you know, who the hell are we electing? I mean, Trump ain't the only one that we have to worry about, is it? You know? And I think that Americans want to see some hope here, and we're not getting it. We're not getting any hope. Trump's taking it all away, okay? He's got us poised for a fucking war here with Russia, where just, was it a week and a half ago, he was sitting here talking about trying to bring peace between Ukraine and Russia? Well, you could forget that. Okay, that's not going to happen now. Because now Russia, you know, is pissed off at Trump for the seizure of the oil tankers and stuff like that, okay? He's mad at them. And he's got Venezuela all in knots, all right? He's trying to impose American authority in Venezuela now. And I don't, and like I said, the people down there aren't going to like that much, okay? Especially when you got some, what do you call that? Representative of the United States sitting in their seat of power down there. Okay, well, I mean, how would you think if somebody eliminated our fucking president and they sat somebody from another country there to take up the duties of the president? Wouldn't you feel like that's, you know, just a formal way of saying, you know, you're under this country's control now? Okay, and Venezuela would not be for the Venezuelans anymore. It would be for the United States, and those people would find themselves outside the box here. So, yeah, I mean, this is a real dark period in our country's history. It's indefensible. There's no excuse for it. It's dangerous to all of us, even those people that voted for this motherfucker. We're all in danger from this administration. And I simply don't want to wait till crisis lands on my doorstep to try to do anything about it. And I don't think any of you watching this ought to either. I think a lot of you people out there really ought to be preparing yourself, okay? Because we still got 3 more years to go with this motherfucker, and look where we are here as a country already. How do you think we're going to look at the end of this year if we don't try to remove him from office now? How do you think we're going to look then? Okay? You think our economy is going to be any better at the end of the year? I don't. I don't see that at all. Okay? Do you think there will be more people kicked out of their jobs by the end of the year? Yeah, I think that. I think that's going to happen. More people are going to lose their jobs. Could be yours, you know. And, you know, whatever other plans that Trump has for this country, it's not going to be good. He hasn't done anything good for this country, you know, since he got back in there the first time or this time. It's always been negative at everything that he's done. And every fucking week, it's a new scandal. It's a new problem that he just started. Okay? In the meantime, people are not talking about those Epstein files, which, you know, is very important because it goes right to the very heart of the matter of why we can't have criminals for presidents. Okay? Trump is a criminal. He is a pedophile. He committed rape on minors. He had to have, because otherwise he'd be open about what's in those files, wouldn't he? He wouldn't be trying to reel it all in and protect it and redact it and do all these things with it. Okay? If he was honest with us about it, like he said he wanted to be a transparent government, well, if he wanted that, truly wanted that, he wouldn't be standing in the way of this. He wouldn't have Pam Bondi out there lying about things or covering shit up. So, you know, he's guilty, you know, of some of the worst offenses, you know, an adult can do to a minor. He has to be. Okay? It's very obvious. I mean, Jesus. You know, even Sherlock Holmes would agree there on that. So, anyway, just bear that in mind. All right, that's it for today. I'll talk to you guys another time. And subscribe, comment, share. Keep your ears open for health issues out there. And watch each other's backs. And take care of one another. Help each other out. We're on our own here, America. All of us. We are on our own. The government is kind of out to lunch. And any problems that you might be having, you aren't going to be able to run to the government to help you. That's really the truth of it. I'm sorry to have to say that to you, but that's the way it is. So, anyway, take care. I'll talk to you later.